Plug-in solar, also called balcony solar, has become a growing trend in the United States, with several states considering or already passing laws to allow the technology. After gaining a foothold in Europe, this DIY solar technology is seeing increased interest in the U.S. market. Aimed primarily at people living in apartments or other dwellings where rooftop solar may not be feasible, plug-in solar products allow residents to easily install solar panels on their balcony or deck. APsystems has been active in the space in Europe, and now the company has brought its EZ1 Plug-In Microinverter to the U.S. market to meet this growing demand. Here to make the pitch today is Doug Hewitt, U.S. Country Director at APsystems. Hi, Doug. Thanks for joining me today. So to kick things off, I kind of wanted to, if you could give us an overview of what the plug-in solar market is.
Well, in Europe, the balcony solar, plug-in solar has been going on for a few years now, probably 2 or so, and APsystems has gotten into that market in Europe and has since expanded on that and added batteries. And then, obviously we have a lot of players now that are in that side of the world. So we kind of got an early jump start on it, and with the US, we figured it would also be a big thing here. And it just so happens I live in Utah, and we passed some laws here in Utah for plug-in solar. And then since then, we've had other states kind of follow suit. I think there's like 4 at this point that are now legalized or going to legalize the plug-in solar.
Yeah, and maybe you could dive into that a little bit more. What are you seeing in terms of the current trends in the U.S. market?
Yeah, the trend is power is continuing to go up. Electricity is getting expensive. I mean, we have data centers going in all over the place. And I mean, the fact of the matter is that this is going to increase costs, right? I think that with the ITC going away, except for TPO, I think people are still looking to save money, right? And one of those things is we have to have is electricity, right? So if we can find easy ways to save money, then I think that everyone's obviously going to go that way. So apartments and condos and renters have not been able to access the solar space, right? And I think this is just an easy entry level for people to get into solar, get going green, also save money on electricity bills. And that's really our target market. I think I think this is an easy add-on to systems that already have net metering. So that is, a customer base we're going after, as well as, like I said, the people that, the renters and, people in condos that haven't been able to experience solar yet.
Yeah, and with all that in mind, what can you tell us about APsystems EZ1 Plug-In Microinverter?
So it's a dual micro, just like our residential DS3s. It's 900 continuous watts, and it's plug and play. You can put 2 panels on there, or you can even do up to 4 panels if you depending on the voltage and the amperage, right? Really, that's it. It's a dual micro. You can just plug it right into the wall. The app is extremely quick and easy. It's done with Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, and yeah, it's a really simple setup. So I mean, it's true DIY.
And how is this technology different than traditional solar?
So it's 120 volts, right? So what traditional solar is 240, right? And it's a lot of you have to have a breaker installed separately, to go into your main panel. It's obviously higher voltage. So this is just one leg of 2. So, your typical outlets in your home are going to be 120, something like your AC is going to be 240, right? So this is just an easy way to just literally plug it into your wall. So without the need of any sort of electrician or solar installation.
You talk a little bit about installation there. So what are kind of the nuts and bolts in installing the EZ1 for a homeowner or apartment dweller?
So there's some racking that's beginning to come out. I mean, we're working on a couple partnerships of our own. Really, you'll be able to either hang it from the balcony or do some sort of a ground mount. If some homeowners, would like to put it on the roof, they could. I have some panels up there on my roof that are dedicated to this. I already have solar on my house. So, but really, the balcony solar, you can do the pergolas. Just about anything. I mean, I think in Germany right now, they're starting to make fences out of solar panels, and it's actually cheaper but then it also generates electricity. So I think people are getting pretty creative. We've seen a lot of different photos come in from our customers, and they're able just to make stuff out of, do some awnings, right, with some unistrut and wood. So whatever your heart desires.
Can you tell us about some of the benefits for users?
Yeah, I think it's just immediately starts saving you money. I think mine with two panels, I produce around 5 or 6, sometimes higher kilowatt hours a day. And you can do the math. I mean, depending on where you're at and your electricity and what it costs, it's going to be it's going to be a significant savings.
What about your installer customers? What are the benefits for them?
So we've had a few different installers pick this up. One thing that they've done is they've been able to add this to the home, and leave it there with the customer, after signing a contract. So it's almost like you leave something in the home. It's a nice addition to what they're already going to be doing on the roof, right? And also we've had some customers, they don't want to spend $20,000-$30,000 on a solar, right? On a system, but they maybe spend, a couple grand, just to get started. And that's really what this is, kind of an entry level product to residential solar. If customers get the EZ1, they can see it saving them money. They can look at their app and see, the bell curve throughout the day, each individual module, and, might be able to monitor it, then they're going to want to potentially do it for their whole home and then even add some storage.
So where can people find the EZ1 to purchase?
So we have our own website. We have our own e-store, so you can go onto the APsystems website and just purchase the EZ1. If you'd like to purchase a kit, we have several online retailers that actually offer racking and panels to come with the EZ1. So we're going to leave that up to our distribution partners as far as kits go. But if you would like to go to the website and buy the EZ1, you can.
You talked a little bit about the states that are kind of passing laws to allow this technology. Can you talk a little bit about what you see as the future of plug-in solar in the United States?
Yeah, for me, I mean, I would like to see more DIY friendly solar, right? I would like to see how much we can expand upon this EZ1 platform, right? Whether it be storage or adding more EZ1s to the roof, just a simpler way to continue to build out the DIY market. These states continue to add these laws. And then I think in Virginia, I think they've added in zero export. We also have a zero export meter that's very easy to install. So even if, the utility and the state decide they don't want you to backfeed, it's still available to you. So I believe that but at this point, I feel like everybody has access to solar. Whereas before it, it wasn't, right. It was only homeowners and people with, high credit scores, things like that. Right. This opens up the door for everybody, which is how it should be. I mean, as far as a product goes, I'm excited about it. When I liked it, I liked the idea of it. And when I actually got one and installed it, seeing how easy it was, and then just to turn it on and just see the be able to monitor my production just like that, it really, a light bulb went off for me, and I was like, this is really cool. I think people will really appreciate this. And like I said before, it opens the door to everybody at this point to get solar.
Yeah, were there any sort of I guess lessons learned from the European market that you can apply to the US market?
Yeah, I think some design features and some, all-in-one, battery storage and inverter. But that's what we're bringing over here. I think by Q3, especially by RE Plus this November, we should have an all-inclusive battery and inverter together. So we are ahead of the game as far as what Europe has continuously migrated to, right? So we don't have to go through the same growing pains over there. We can just piggyback on what the market's already showing us there.
Yeah, the typical things with solar is we talk about different installation challenges, but with this being plug it into the wall, it's kind of hard to figure out like what are different things that would be a challenge to users or installers.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not like anybody could do this, right? And that's what makes it so great and beautiful. Is it, I mean, quite literally, I mean, you literally just you just plug it in, man. Like whether it's an extension cord or whatever it may be, you plug it in and it turns on and you're good to go, right? I mean, I think the hardest part would be, figuring out how to mount the panels. But at this point, with all the racking that we have and what people are specifically making for this product, I mean, even that's going to be somewhat easy, right? But I believe anybody could actually do this.
Do you see it growing here as much as it has in Europe?
I do, yeah. Especially with all the legislation we're getting out of these states, like everybody is very much on board with it.
Has there been any sort of pushback? Because what I've seen in terms of those legislations, it does seem like pretty positive for it, but there's always something that seems with politics that somebody wants to push back on.
Yeah, not a whole lot of pushback. I feel like it's been pretty easy. One of the things that people keep bringing up is UL 3700, where there are states that are potentially going to require it, or they're saying we need to have UL 37 or something equivalent. So UL 3700 means that the outlet needs to be dedicated to the inverter itself and bidirectional. Currently, there's not a bidirectional outlet. So, I mean, really, UL has made something that doesn't exist yet. I understand like they're trying to create some safety around it, right? They don't want anyone, lighting their house on fire and things like that. So, and then, like I said, the other thing that I guess pushback is that they don't want any power being exported to the utility company, which isn't a problem. So we have, like I said, we have a zero export meter. It's just as quick and easy to install. You have to, install it on the breaker that the EZ1 is on, but now they're magnetized where you would actually, typically unscrew the breaker to slide a wire in. It's magnetized, so it's literally just like, you just pop it on and then that's it. So it's just as easy as the EZ1.
When a resident like plugs in the solar system, what do they have to do to take advantage of that energy?
So the way solar works is, I guess the utility would call it behind the meter. So if you have solar, kilowatt hours being pushed into the house, right? Whatever is using power the solar is going to go there first, right? It's path of least resistance with electricity. So if I have my solar panels outside and my AC kicks on, it creates that load. That power from the sun is going directly there, right? It's being fed to where the electricity is being pulled. As soon as that AC turns off, then the panels have to go somewhere with that power. And if there's nothing in the house that's taking that power and that load, then it's going to go back onto the grid. Even if you have an EZ1 and you're not getting credit for it, the biggest, I mean, you're going to get your most bang for your buck right during the summer, right? When you have your air conditioning going, maybe in the wintertime when you have your hot tub going, right? So it's there to offset those loads. And especially in some areas where, you have like peak times or time of use, it's good for really, I guess it's kind of like, shaving, call it like demand shaving or peak shaving, to where, you're producing electricity during those high priced times.
Doug, thank you for your time today and for making the pitch.